Kids are most definitely getting pushed out of this hobby. It's kind of sickening, and I hate it because I have a 10-year-old son who enjoys Pokemon, but he's kind of already not that into it anymore. But the kids that are very into it, being able to just go to the store and buy some packs to rip, or just enjoying wanting to get one card that they really love, but the market is so crazy that the card is a $300 inflated card when it should only be $100, and the parents just can't justify spending that much on a piece of cardboard, no matter how much of an investment it is or not. So yeah, I think they're getting pushed out. I think that the scalper mentality is probably the biggest cause of it, and I think it can go away and it can adjust and fix itself, but as to when, oof, you got me on that one. Tag most certainly could reign supreme in 5 years. If they played their cards right and correctly, they could essentially be the go-to grading service that is not just only for submissions, but also for sales and resales. I don't see why not, but I could almost promise you it won't happen, only due to the fact that nobody is willing to capitalize and put PSA in the spotlight by changing their company rules, mottos, or pricing in order to cash out on PSA's mistakes. Gold Star cards are super overrated. I don't see the hype. I think some of the artwork is cool, but I think it is just a market trend / possibly manipulation on a set that is rare, don't get me wrong, but the extent of it just seems kind of ridiculous. There's other primes have great cards and great artwork. Primes are not blowing up. Primes are not crazy expensive for a PSA 10. They are expensive, but if you compare apples to apples, it's just not there. Gold Stars are overrated. Now, GX cards, those are a different story because those cards are awesome. I don't care who you are. Every single one of them, even the regular ones, they're all amazing. I love the GX cards. You can never go wrong with them. They all look sick. Come at me. I can't go wrong with a GX card, no matter who it is, no matter what rarity it is. Those, top notch. PSA is not a monopoly. Collectors who owns them, the parent company, that is the monopoly. They own 80% of the grading services. They control the market on what the secondary market is as far as what the value of these PSA cards are worth, and also have the capability, which proven, of manipulating and changing grades in order to benefit their bottom dollar. So yeah, I would say that's a monopoly. Power packs and arena club packs are horrible for this community. You want to talk about gambling and degeneracy. This is top tier level packaged in a fancy one-click website that you literally are just going to throw money away at. And they know it. Why do you think they're offering 90% to 100% value on your PSA cards after you submit them? Because it goes right into this machine and then they just make all their money back tenfold. So yeah, needs to stop. I hate it. Not worth it. Don't do it. Live stream selling could easily take over the market when it comes to people wanting to purchase items outside of your typical retailers. But either one of two things has to happen. Either Whatnot has to clean up its act, get its reputation in order, get rid of all the people that are scamming, and change its rules and formats to accommodate for anyone being able to come in there and spend money without needing to worry about getting scammed or screwed. How that would happen, I have no idea. The other aspect or the other possibility for this to happen would need to be someone else coming in with a clean track record and clean set rules and standards for how these things will happen, and take over as the main provider or platform for the live stream selling. Because outside of that, I don't think it could prevail. Japanese cards are way better than English cards. I don't care who you are. If you claim the opposite, then you are either blind or you're trolling. There's no way. Look at two of them. Look at two of the same cards side by side. Tell me one is not better than the other. Tell me the Japanese one does not stand out more. Tell me the Japanese one doesn't have more detail, doesn't have more texture, doesn't have more time, more effort, more quality put into the card. How the English cards are so much more expensive than these beautiful Japanese cards, I do not know. I mean, I kind of do, but still, the Japanese cards are supreme. Fan art cards should be much more involved in the secondary market, hands down. There are some gorgeous artworks that I've seen and some incredible card makers out there that really put some time and effort into the texture and the holo and really the way the card looks and making it, one, seem more authentic, or really just more make it seem more high quality than even what cards are made with and how they're made today in the real Pokemon TCG world or any other TCG in general. But I think fan art cards should get more cred. They should be more displayed. But there just has to be a certain way that it goes about so that the quality stays consistent and so on and so forth. But then you run into the fakes of those and yeah, who knows? But I still think so. They should be involved. I love them. Maybe it's just because I've been spoiled with the amount of shows here in the DFW area that they all blend together and just kind of seem the same. They all have a giant Pikachu and a giant Gengar walking around for kids to take pictures with. They all have their own giveaways. Some of them announce some over a speakerphone, but they all do pretty much the same thing. I just did a Cards and More tour show called Pokémon. They had a live DJ up there. They did live giveaways with the DJ and stuff. And they had other things going on outside of where all the vendors were, as far as like a Coop and Beer Dad signing and breakfast with them and some other things. They had a Poke Rave, kind of, but it wasn't anything, overly unique and that stood out. Collecticon definitely has, celebrity signings and all these other things, but nothing that really, in my opinion, is like a full-on convention. If it could be like DreamHack and Collecticon and something else tied together, it would be great. For example, Card Party, from what I've heard, I have not been, so I cannot attest to my own personal experiences, but I have heard Card Party is quite amazing. I've seen some of the videos of it with the live pack battles, things like that. That is the track that I think more needs to go on. Less of the consistent, regular, just trading shows and more unique opportunities that people wouldn't get to go see at a Collecticon or Card Party or something like that. Just bring something new to the table. So vending at card shows is extremely fun for me personally because of the person-to-person interaction, the transaction, especially with trades. I love coming up and figuring out the value of, what you think it's worth and what app you use and what app I use. And it's just, I guess it's more of the joy of getting all that kind of figured out and getting on the same page when maybe we had two separate opinions or thought processes with what we valued our own stuff at. That process is enjoyable to me, especially when it comes to fun kid stuff, essentially like Pokemon cards. So I've grown up in the world of retail and customer service, so to be able to do this around something that is more fun is a lot more enjoyable. But also on top of that, I also think that the getting to know people's story, getting to know what got them into Pokemon, what got them back into Pokemon, what about Pokemon they love the most. It's much more fun because it's just an immediate relatable topic that you get to have with someone that you can tell your do's and don'ts and your pluses and minuses with a complete stranger, and y'all both are enjoying the interaction because you both enjoy this one subject. It's much easier to become friends with someone and make a customer or just anyone feel more at ease when you're able to relate on some level. And that's what Pokemon brings. And who doesn't love that? One Piece won't ever get to the size and outreach that Pokemon has. And mainly for one reason, in my opinion. I believe it's because the initial, or really any of One Piece, none of it is directed towards kids. None of it can be. It's too detailed. It's not simple enough. There's nothing about it that kids under 10 years old can relate to or understand or follow that is going to keep them interested. Whereas Pokemon, you have such simplicity. You just have characters. You have even older movies that are directed towards kids. So you have a plethora of audience that goes from age 3, 4, 5 all the way up to 70, 80, 90 years old. One Piece just doesn't have that kind of reach. And no matter what they do as far as being able to get to that younger audience, the story and the characters itself just are too mature. It's just what it boils down to. So I don't think it can ever get to that status that Pokemon can, especially now due to its nostalgia and its age. You have people that were into Pokemon when they were kids, and now they're full-fledged adults with full-fledged bank accounts. So you're basically trying to pull from what is already there as far as the TCG community and add into another TCG that just can't get to that younger market group in order to blow up and really get to the size that Pokemon is. Just can't happen. My son had me write down this question. I asked for some advice from him, and he told me we need to see, is Arceus really the strongest Pokemon? Well, when we looked it up, he doesn't have the highest amount of ability. It's only 720, whereas I think Mega Rayquaza and some others can get up to 780. But he's the most balanced and considered a god among the Pokemon, creator of the Pokemon universe to an extent, I guess. So I'm going to have to say, yeah, he probably is the strongest Pokemon. I mean, he's a freaking god. Like, come on. He's the Pokemon. The Pokemon. Maker and create, like, Pokemon. Not Pikachu, not Mewtwo, not Charizard. Arceus. He's the best. I do think there will be an oversaturation of printing when it comes to this new facility being built out in North Carolina. As to how much and, what the market's even going to be in 2 or 3 years once that place is actually done, who knows? But, in 2 or 3 years, it could be even crazier. And it could be to where all this extra printing doesn't do anything. Or it could be completely flopped and everything could be available, and then it gets oversaturated with even more stuff due to this facility, and then you just see everything starting to plummet even crazier. It's very tough to say. I will probably go with, things are just going to get overprinted, and the value of all the underprinted things or things that were around before this new facility came about, before things got oversaturated, will go more up in value. More of it's going to get ripped, more of it's going to get tossed, messed up, graded, whatever you want to call it. It will become more valuable the more these oversaturated sets get introduced to the market. If you're selling on Facebook Marketplace, quit asking for trades 80%. You're not spending any time or effort making a listing on Facebook Marketplace that is worth justifying an extra 10% difference in trade value. 90% to 100%, in my opinion, is fine. 90% is covering the basis of, eBay fees or whatnot fees or whatever other fees may be incurred on whatever platform you'd be trying to sell on, which is a lot. TCG player. Any of those, acceptable. Anything below that, you're screwing people. You don't have a store. You don't have any other reason to justify taking this other percent off besides you saying, I have this that you want, and I don't care if you have something that I want, even though I'm willing to trade for it. That's ridiculous.